Good morning and welcome back to Painting with Victor. Back in the studio on this Monday, December the 16th. It's hard to believe that, gosh, December is half gone already. And gosh, just 15 days left of this month. And it's hard to believe 2024 is coming to an end. But we're in the studio doing some stretching of canvas onto the stretcher bars. Check out my earlier video about don't throw that painting away, recycle your stretcher bars. This is something that, you know, instead of going out and spending good money on a fresh canvas, you can do it yourself. You can get some canvas that this happens to be pre-primed, but you can get, and I have some over here that I pre-cut, just naked canvas, not primed canvas, and I'll do a demo on how to prime it. Okay, but anyway, wanted to give you this little demo today. These stretcher bars, this is probably about 11 by 14, something like that. And notice that on the stretcher bars, the part that the canvas goes over here, it's raised up about 1/4 of an inch all the way around, and it's about 1/4 of an inch so wide, and your canvas rests on top of that. Okay, so it's very important that when you go to stretch your canvas, be sure that ridge is on the canvas, okay, on the back side of your canvas, especially, you know, I'm using pre-primed, so it's on the back side there. And what I do is I kind of measure around to make sure I've got the stretcher bars kind of in the middle. So I've got hopefully an equal amount of canvas around the edges of my stretcher bars, okay. And right now that's, you know, it's looking pretty good, pretty even so far, which is great. So one of the things I'll do is I'll put a staple in at the top. I'll come down to the bottom. I'll pull it tight, put a staple there. Then I'll rotate around and I'll put a staple on one side of these. I'll pull it tight, put another staple. And because one side is longer than the other, I will work and do a few more staples on this side a little bit faster than maybe I do on the shorter sides. And the reason I do that is because I want, when I'm stapling and rotating around, to kind of come to the edge of the stretcher bars at the same time, okay? Pulling on the canvas, making it tight, okay, in the corners and on the sides and things of that nature. And I work it all the way around, and to get all those staples in there. And but we're going to do a little time lapse on that and show that to you. So let's get to stretching our canvas. All right, now comes the fun part. We get to do the corners. We've already got all the staples in all the way around, did a little time lapse, added it into here. So now we're going to start working on the corners. The corners can be a little tricky. You want to try to get those as smooth as possible. I use kind of a little overlap method here. Sometimes I'll cut the canvas out, but I kind of push that in like this. And then I'll just lap that over like that. So I've got a lot of canvas in here, and so what I'll end up doing is I'm actually going to use my little trusty stapler gun here, put another staple there in the corner, get out my trusty hammer, tap that down in there. Good. All right. So now let's get this corner. I like to let my long side kind of be the flap over. Hopefully I'll do that all the way around. But we'll get that in, and I'm going to trim some of this off a little bit so I don't have quite as much bulky canvas to work with. This is a pre-primed canvas, and so it's a little bit trickier to work with. It's a little bit more bulky, I guess you'd say, call it that, maybe bulkier to work with. And I'm also going to come in here, just going to trim a little bit of that away, get that down in there like so. And now I just kind of push this back up in here like that. And then this piece will lap over my corner like that, okay? And that's pretty good. I try to make it as smooth as I possibly can, because when you go to get this canvas framed, you want to make sure those corners fit in there quite nicely. And here I'll just go ahead and add a couple staples there. Bang a little bit on the old hammer. Do a little inspection there. And that one turned out pretty good. So, all right, let's do this other side over here. We're gonna trim some of this bulkiness back a little bit on this canvas. Throw it over here off to the side. And come in here with my corner. And just experiment with this a little bit, you know, find out what really works best for you. I mean, you'll see, I mean, all kinds of instructional videos that are out there on how to do some of this. Like I've said in earlier videos, you gotta do what works best for you. Okay. And that is the whole point here, is to show you some principles and concepts here, and hopefully you'll learn a little bit from it, and then you can actually go off and do this yourself. Okay. All right. Okay. That one was just a little rough right there, but it's not too terribly bad. It's not bad at all. And it's got that, don't know if you can hear that, but kind of that drum sound, because I really like it being tight like that. We'll set that over there. Okay, so, all right, we'll work on this corner here. I'm pulling on the canvas, still trying to tighten it up a little bit. We'll put another staple here, get that one in, and then we'll start working on the corner. Can always trim a little bit of this back, which I'm going to do right here. Let's take that out of the way and get that pulled up in there. I'm just going to trim that piece off like that. There we go. Perfect. All right. It just takes a lot of pulling and pushing and getting that tight in there and wrapped over in there really good. Sometimes I'll put a little staple just right on the corners here. I don't know if you can see it very well on the video, but right on the corners, I like to put it to kind of hold that flap down a little bit better. And that's in there pretty good. I do have a pattern for cutting out the canvas. I mean, I've taken canvases off, and I like how the corners were cut out and everything, so I may play around with that a little bit, maybe do a demo on that as well. It helps it to maybe fit in there just a little bit better. But anyway, we're gonna come back up in here. Gonna trim some of this old canvas out of the way, so it won't be quite as bulky, but I do have enough where I can pull it tight. And working on the short side over here. So we'll get that pulled up. In fact, I think I'm going to put a little staple right there. Tap that sucker down. Make sure I don't hit my thumb. And then we're going to get this long piece folded over like so, pulling tight all the way around, and to get that corner just right. It gets quite bulky in there sometimes, so we'll take some of that up like this and bring this piece over like so. Tap that down. We'll look at it a little bit. Just take a quick peek at it. Got a little spot over here I'm not too pleased with, so I'm gonna pull it as tight as I can get it up in there like that. Lay that piece down, then come over with it like that. Smooth that out a little bit. Put that corner one in. Knock those suckers down in place. And voila, we got a new stretch canvas. Love the sound of that. The bounce that it has on it. It's good and tight all the way around with the staples and everything. So hopefully you learned a little bit today on how you too can stretch canvas over stretcher bars. You know, don't throw those stretcher bars away. Don't throw that old canvas away. Save it, take it off, roll it up. I put 6 or 7, maybe 5 or 6 into, stacked them up, rolled them up, and I had an old paper towel tube. I stuffed them in there, and who knows, I might bring them out one day in the future and say, hey, you know, let's take a look at some of these older paintings and learn from them and say, hey, yeah, I could do this better, that better, or whatever. That way I don't have stuff just all over the place. And my wife said the other day I was running out of room, and you know, trying to store stuff in extra bedrooms and boxes and things like that. And I'm thinking, gosh, I can just roll these canvases up in a tube and set them off to the side somewhere and store those a lot easier than I can 6 or 7 of these stacked up somewhere in a box or on the wall or whatever the case may be. So how to stretch canvas. This is pre-primed canvas. I will put 2 or 3 more layers of gesso on this particular canvas. But thanks for tuning in. This has been a great day today. Back in the studio this morning, doing a little demo. Hopefully you like it. If you do, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel, Painting with Victor. Share it with your friends. So yeah, just go out and make it a great day and do some painting. And have a blast, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and check back later.